Welcome to the Running with James podcast, where every High Rocks athlete, OCR competitor, and the everyday runner has a place. We're passionate about building a community that supports, building confidence that empowers, and building champions who rise. Together, we'll push limits and chase what moves us. Remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. Now here's your host, James Wyatt.
Looks more like a James Dean type.
There's many different options of Ducatis. There's
Yeah.
crotch rockets, there's roadsters, there's all types of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not like, it just depends on which Ducati.
Yeah. Mine's a chopped up Cafe Cruiser.
Let go, Lauren.
I love my Cafe Cruiser.
Let go of the past, dude. It's hard to move into the future if you don't let go of the
His
past.
name is Nightwing.
Like I said, it's hard to move into the future if you don't let go of the past. Because if you're trying to move forward and you're dragging baggage along with you, you ain't going to get there very quickly. Just saying. You know how much baggage I've had to cut loose?
Tons.
That I loved. And then I realized, you know what? It wasn't really that important. And I let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
All right, Elsa.
I think it's a human fear, emotion of, I'm going to need that one day.
Yeah. Speaking, I'm going to need that one day. I just did a cleaning
Oh, yeah?
of all the things that I knew I was going to need someday.
You said you had a whole bunch of stuff to offload.
I do. Sitting in my vehicle right now. First come, first serve.
I'm waiting.
I'm going to take a picture. Don't leave today. We got you. I got you.
You got me?
I got you.
We don't wear the same size shoe. Which
I got something for you, too. I've got a pair of shoes, and I got a hoodie.
Ooh, I love a hoodie.
Look at that.
Yeah.
This is Christmas in January.
I don't know if it's going to work for you, though.
I'll
'cause
say.
You're so much taller than me.
What
So
size
it's probably
shoe
going to
do
be
you wear?
short on your whatever. Well, in complete transparency, I got these shoes at the Nike outlet,
Okay.
and I always check the women's section.
I never look a gift horse in the mouth.
I always check the women's section because in the women's section, they have a lot of times the bigger sizes on sale because they don't get bought a lot. And so, like, for me, I'm like a ladies 11 to 12, somewhere in there, depending on the shoe. So I've actually purchased ladies' shoes before. Sometimes a little more narrow.
This is full disclosure right
Yeah,
now.
but I mean, I don't care. I don't care if the shoe fits. Wear it. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say if it's a 12, Melanie could wear it, but
No. No,
got your fit.
it was a 10, I think, a 10 or a 10 and a half. And I was like, I think I can pull this off because it was like super cheap. Like, it
Yeah.
was like $15.
yeah,
So I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. And if they don't work, I'll give them to Lauren.
there we go. Appreciate that.
Day has come.
But they're not running shoes.
What are they?
They're like kind of like
Like this?
they're like a casual like boot, walking boot.
Ooh.
So it's not like an actual, it's like a Nike. So it's like something you can wear with jeans.
I like it.
Do they have holes in them?
No, they don't. They're brand new.
Upgrade.
They're brand new.
Upgrade.
2026 guys,
They're brand
leveling
new.
up.
Level
So
up.
that is another reason why you got to let go of the past because you have to have room for the new stuff coming your
I
way.
actually was. I've
Very
gotten
wise.
That'll
some.
preach.
I got some new shoes over holiday. I bought several new pairs of shoes, and I was like, I think it's time I need to start letting go of my holy shoes. So I started pulling them all out. I was like, wow, it's most of my shoes are going away. They're just all getting replaced.
Revelations of 2026.
Wow, that's awesome.
There's one pair. Oh, there's that pair that I wore to TRE that you shamed me for heavily.
No, I was making.
I was shamed.
As the host of the Running with James podcast,
was not
and the owner
doing
of
justice.
BC Fitness, you were making me look bad.
I was making us
representing
all
the brand in a
Look
very.
sad.
I mean, we are literally there to try to get people to give us stuff because we are good
I was
representatives.
taking-
And she's like, "Oh, sir, I have holes in my shoes. Sir. Can I have some more?"
That's the approach I was going with sad little Timmy.
No, people. Okay,
We could have put like some chimney smoke
Yeah,
on her face.
here's the problem.
Set
I
me in
think.
a corner with a little cup, a little tin cup.
Here's the issue. She's a girl. She doesn't understand like the way it works, right? So in other words, as a man, we've learned that if we are like not dating somebody, we don't have a job, you don't have a car, but when you go to get a job, it's harder to get a job when you don't have a job,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
When you don't have a car, a lot of times it's harder to get a car.
Because you don't have a job.
They work together, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to get a girl when you don't have a girl or you don't have a job, right? So in other words, people want something that other people want. Now, that's probably a better way to put it, right? You become more attractional when other people and other things already kind of own you. But women don't have to. They've never had to worry about that. They're just it's a open field for them, especially with like when it comes to dating. Like you literally could walk out downstairs right now, And I bet you could probably talk to 20 guys. And of the 20 guys, if they weren't married, I bet you get all 20 of their phone numbers.
I would very strongly say that's not true.
$20. All you have to do is walk down. We're not doing that, obviously.
We're not
you would
doing
walk. Here's. You tell me if you disagree. You walk downstairs. Are you married? No, I'm not married. Could we exchange numbers? You would get 20 numbers like that of the unmarried ones.
I'd give her 90 to 98% success rate.
I think she'd get 100%.
You think 100%?
I do. Now, you put me in that same situation, or Carlos, and we walk to a group of ladies, and we walk up to those ladies. Are you married? No. Hey, why don't we exchange numbers? We would probably get more of like a 90-10. Maybe 50%. 50% would be high, I feel like.
50, you'd be shooting great numbers.
That's like you are like 6'2", chiseled jaw, abs, and like rich.
Yes, I think we're shooting baseball numbers.
Yeah, you're batting 400.
You bet. Oh, you're an
all-star.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's
And
a numbers
that's the
game.
difference between men and women. And so you haven't learned like the understanding that like being poor and pitiful doesn't help you. It helps you as a woman because men want to come in and save you. And they want to come in and be your hero. Will you be my hero, baby?
You just kind of learn when to play the damsel card.
Yeah.
You don't play it often.
Well, you don't play it at the shoe place.
Don't play. That's where I was exactly going to. I don't use the damsel card like ever, but that's where I was going to use it.
Yeah, that's not the place.
It didn't
to use
work.
No. You use it at the club. Don't go to the club.
I don't go to the club.
Don't go to the club.
I don't go to the club.
But you use it like when you're talking to people, and you're like, oh, this is so heavy. Could you pick it up for me? That's when the damsel thing happens, and the guys will jump. They'll be like, oh, yeah, let me get that for you, ma'am. Let me help you. Let me be your hero. But you're like, no, I don't need nobody to help me pick this up. I'm a strong woman.
I'm my own
pick
hero.
This up. You know what? Let me pick that up for you. Actually, let me pick you up for you.
Yeah, I would do that one.
That is the best way to drive a man off. So
I would do that one.
Yeah, I know.
What do you bench? I can bench more. I bench you.
Yeah. Living in this false fantasy world, right?
Oh, no.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, welcome back to another edition of Running with James. It is a new year. 2026 has arrived. And as Lauren is trying to make a thing, it's time to
level up.
That's right. I don't know what that means, but it's provocative.
It's sexy. Gets the people going.
Yeah, exactly. I actually had someone ask me in class yesterday. I got a thing in my email about leveling up.
Yeah.
Am I ready to level up?
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
That's awesome.
And I said, well, that's really like
that's what I wanted to do.
Promotion for our members, for people who aren't our members to make a decision to come work out.
No.
Oh, well, I want to level up though. Am I ready to level up?
Yes.
I was like, you're always ready to level up. She's
See,
like,
it's
so it's
doing
going to
it.
cost. So she goes, is it going to cost me $70 a month to level up? And I was like, huh? I was so confused when she was and she has the core membership.
Oh.
And it was for the all access membership. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? You should level up. And yes, it will cost you $70 a month.
Which is still way cheaper than anywhere else you're going to go.
That's the price of leveling up.
That's the price of leveling up. An extra $30 a month. You can level up. So I told her,
That's
and
awesome.
then she goes, and I told her, well, that would allow you to come to any class, not just the core classes. So instead of coming twice a week, you could come every day. You could come do open gym, whatever. She's like, oh, I think I'm going to stay where I'm at right now.
Wasn't ready to level
She
up.
wasn't ready to level up. But I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was actually kind of cute, actually, a little bit cute.
If anyone on the streets yells to me, I'm ready to level up, I will let you know, Lauren.
Thank you.
See if
Please
it's
do.
catching on. If the streets...
You'll see it's working. It's working.
She didn't level up, Lauren.
She didn't, but others might. That's just one. We're only like a week into January.
0 for 1. We'll keep the count.
It's like fetch. I'm gonna make it happen.
I don't know. I don't get that analogy.
Anyone who has
it's like
seen
the
me-
horse and peas.
No,
The horse and peas analogy.
No, fetch from Mean Girls. Fetch
It's been a
isn't
long
thing.
time since I've seen it.
Anyone out there who's seen Mean Girls, you know what fetch is.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that falls on deaf ears here. It's like us saying something about, I don't know, Predator. That's the face we.
Yeah,
we
you got the same face. It's just
Yeah,
in
it's
reverse.
the same face we just gave you.
Yes,
That's it.
Exactly. That's
It's like,
Does not compute.
it's like when the crocodiles have the extra lid that kind of just glazes
yeah,
over.
it
It's
just went,
just-
goes,
Exactly.
went right over.
Well, so it's the first podcast of the new year. It's season 5. Can you believe this is our 5th season?
I can't believe
of
we've
Running
done
with
this for
James,
5 seasons.
Right?
No, that's-
Well, we haven't done it for 5 seasons. We've done it for 4. This is the
4.
5th.
This is the 5th. Sorry.
Yes, we haven't finished the 5th.
We're starting the 5th.
Yeah. But I got a recap of the Running with James podcast for the year. It was very interesting. It was very cool. So we did, last week, I got on here with, we had a special guest.
Oh, Pastor.
Hutchins was on here.
It was great.
So it Well, I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was really
You
good.
did a good job. I had several people tell me they enjoyed it.
You did a little too good.
Yeah.
Just like,
Your
no.
safest spot.
Okay.
Did your
safe.
spy feel a little
Calm
compromised?
down. She may
No. You
she
got.
may be on the edge, but you're safe.
Well, you at least got to replace me with another female.
No. If you get replaced, it's like I love my wife with everything inside of me, but if she passes away before I do, I'm not. No. I'm just gonna get like a male maid to like do stuff for me, work around the house,
With the feather duster?
and just be. Well, you probably won't have a feather duster.
Well, hopefully it's like, way in the future and a robot made.
That's exactly what it will
Oh
be.
my gosh.
As
What?
AI robot maid.
Well, what's wrong with it? That's the future.
It just make my life easier. You know
I
what?
I was just thinking of those really weird movies where like the guys get like the AI robot
You're gonna
maids.
tolerate it. You're gonna. I know how you are.
I
You're
go
gonna
to
turn
my
it the
brain
wrong
goes to
way.
something really creepy and weird.
Exactly, and we're
Yeah.
thinking, and that's the difference.
That's the
right there.
difference.
We're thinking about just getting some laundry done, freaking getting the dishes done, maybe get a dinner cooked or something. Coming to a clean house.
She's thinking murder.
And no,
Murderbot.
No, that's
she's
not what
thinking.
I'm thinking.
She's
Oh.
thinking the opposite.
No.
Other
She's
thing
thinking
of murder.
maybe it leads to murder.
Oh.
I think
Eventually, someone does get murdered
because the AI is jealous. So of the relationship that you've developed with
with your robot.
your toaster or something. I don't know.
Toaster.
But yeah, we were kind of recapping some of the numbers and some of the things that we had an opportunity to do this year. But there was one thing that I was really interested in, and it kind of made me think about it when I saw the recap from that we got from Buzzsprouts, which is our host for the podcast. And they were saying that we've had this year, like I think it was over 1,800 cities or so that have listened to the podcast, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's cool.
And it was like 60 or 80 something different countries.
Yeah, you were telling. I was listening to the episode about how you asked Leah what you thought
Yeah.
it'd be, and the numbers were way lower.
It was very hurtful. It was very hurtful.
4.
Yeah, exactly. I think she said
Thanks
like
for the
12, and she thought she was giving me a big number.
Thanks for the boost of faith,
I know
Leah.
that really hurt, but that really hurt deep inside. We've had an episode, 52 episodes, or what have you, and that doesn't count the Patreon episodes as well, right?
Yeah.
So, putting out some consistent content, things of that nature. But when I saw the report and and all that good stuff, it made me think about we have all the athletes we had, and I talked about how many athletes I personally coach, right? And how many of those athletes were able to get PR. So I was curious, like just as a generality, because I want to say all of the athletes that I have that got PRs got more than one PR. So I can think of a couple right now that got 3 or 4 PRs. So I was just curious, like how many PRs in general, the people that look as a group, as coaches, did we get? And so I kind of put out a little survey, a little questionnaire. And as of today, the number is like 120 PRs.
Wow.
PRs.
That's pretty good,
Yeah.
I would think. Right? So that means that multiple people got multiple PRs over the year. So that's progression. And so that's one of the things that we always preach, is that, we spend a lot of time building our foundation, and we're developing our fitness pyramid, right? Or our, we're trying to get to this goal. And while we always say the bigger the foundation, the higher the peak, right? And so, but once we hit that peak, that becomes our new foundation. So now our starting point is different. So when we start the training process over again, right, we take our break, our week, we run if we want to, we don't run, then we kind of reverse taper, and then we establish what's the next, Well, now we have a new place to start from, and so we keep progressing and getting better. And so it's really cool to me to like look back over the year and see that that's exactly what many of our athletes have done, is they've just continued to
Level up.
there it is.
Sorry, I was like
setting
looking
you
at-
up, and you're not
I
even
know.
ready for it.
I was like looking at your hand, and I was like, "What does he want from me?" Oh yeah,
Yeah. So I'm using your own thing, and we got to work together, Lauren.
we're gonna have to make that a button to use throughout the season.
We could record it, and you could
Make a
press the button
button.
when it was time.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do that. So, so we got the Houston Marathon and half marathon coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
So several people that are going to be running out there. So
None of us.
we're all going to be cheering people on, though.
It's all right to be on the sidelines and cheer.
We're gonna be motivating, doing some video work, some photo work, yelling at people with love.
Cheering people on. And I'm already working on my my launch speech.
Oh yeah, you got to do a good speech.
I always got to do a good speech. I got to, it's kind of like, Leonidas with the Spartans,
Oh,
right?
Yep.
Or what's a William Wallace? You know,
Oh yeah,
and
that's a
Braveheart.
great one.
You know,
Yeah.
you've got to like hearts and minds, people. Hearts and minds.
I would love for you to like verbatim borrow one of those speeches and recite it and see who catches it. You think anybody would?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Looking to take your running to the next level? Whether you're just getting started or chasing the next PR, my dad, Coach James, and BC Fitness have you covered. Join our in-person or online run coaching. Plug into our free weekly run club and train alongside a community that's built different. From High Rocks and OCR to daily group fitness classes at our Houston gym. This is where athletes are made. Come run with us, train with us, grow with us. Visit mybcfit.com and start building your best.
I would think the ones I would quote, most of the men would probably immediately get it.
You think?
The women would be like,
Even the Braveheart one?
the women would be just like,
Everyone would get the Braveheart one.
yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's well, I guess if you do the
Well,
they
the moment
can't
you
take
say
our
lives, when you
Yeah,
freedom,
that's true.
everybody's
That's
gonna
true.
get that, right?
Okay.
So I would mix it up probably a little bit.
take a little bit from everything. That'd be a fun way to do it.
Just kind of put some put specific.
A little
things
bit of
in there.
Rocky, a little bit of Braveheart, a little bit of 300. Who
It's
else?
not about how hard you get hit, but how hard you can take a hit and keep coming
Mm-hmm.
forward. They can
Maybe a little
take
Creed.
they can take our energy, but they can never take our PRs and just
Yeah.
keep just throwing little.
Layering it on there.
Yeah, I might do that.
Do something
actually.
from Iron Man. He's got some good stuff, I think.
Iron Man.
That's a
The
random.
Avengers.
What is give me a taste of what
I
Iron
feel
Man.
like I feel like he has said some pretty profound things in what was the last one called?
Oh, Endgame. Yeah,
Endgame.
I think he
I feel like
did.
he had some profound moments in Endgame. I cannot remember.
They
off the
obviously
top
were
of
so
my head.
profound that you remember exactly what they weren't.
I was just crying a lot in that movie.
Why?
I'm not gonna, in case people haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it, but that was very sad.
That movie was 10 years old.
I'm
If they
pretty
haven't
sure.
watched
I'm
it-
fairly certain we're past the spoilers number level.
Are we? Are we ever? If you haven't heard,
in the
watched
day
it,
of digital age, and if you haven't watched that movie within the
shame
first
on you. for
2
one.
weeks, you're in trouble.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true. Well,
Facebook
he
be-
dies.
Talking about Iron Man.
Yeah, he dies.
So
That was very sad. I cried.
nobody ever dies in Marvel.
He died.
Nobody ever dies. He's coming back as Doctor Doom.
Oh my gosh, they are redoing him in Doctor Doom.
They're not redoing him. They're just
They're reintroducing him as a new character, though. Isn't that how it
no.
is? Is
He's
it a
probably
same
some
universe?
like offshoot, like different dimension
It's
level
a different.
of Tony
It
Stark.
Is
was
that
a
what they're
different
doing?
dimension. But
I did hear about that, but I wasn't sure they're doing it.
Yeah,
Okay, we're not
they
going to
are.
get sidebar too much.
He is going to be the same guy. You know, they're bringing Captain America back in it too.
I did see that they're bringing Chris Evans back in, which I'm excited about.
Nobody ever dies in comics.
after they did the whole Marvels,
I was going to say, you know why? Because they got
whole
all
everything
these
else,
new offshoot characters are
and
sucking.
how'd it go?
Yeah, they stink.
Thumbs down.
All
So
the
now they're
characters
just going
stink.
right back to the.
I think
Classic.
it's less about like the characters themselves, right? That they're like these unknown characters because they actually are not. They're very popular characters within the comics. I think it's just the angle they took.
No, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking
no.
about.
They tried to force something to the fans.
They
and
did.
Fans,
and we
have-
just want to see some action comics. You know what I'm saying? We just want to see people. You don't need to be getting all political on me. You don't need to be like shoving a bunch of freaking stuff down my throat. You know what I'm saying? I can shove enough down my throat. I don't need help. I got enough
just want to see the
rhetoric that
good guy
I
versus the
consume.
bad guy, a little adversary.
Yeah, like I just want to see hope. You know, one of the best times was when Captain America
Which one?
stood there and he's holding
Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer,
Oh,
and he
amazing.
says,
Avengers.
assemble." I literally
cried.
clapped,
I got up.
and I said, "Yeah, it's about time, dude. How long is it going to take to say
and
Avengers Assemble? We
that
like
was
10 movies in.
such a good movie. That was
10 movies in, they finally say it. I'm like, what the heck? It took so long.
Yes.
I kept waiting for it, and there it was. I was like, and
And
then when he
that
picked up the
battle-
hammer too,
Yeah,
oh, inspiration.
he was worthy.
Great movie.
I knew he was worthy.
You should use
He
it.
didn't pick. It moved when he touched it, but he decided, you know what? He didn't want to hurt Homeboy's feelings.
You should.
because that's Captain America.
You should use
Yeah.
that in your speech. The assemble.
How would that motivate?
I don't know.
people?
Just it's good. You should use it. Find a way to
BC
mix it
Fit-
up.
I don't want
Fitters
anything that's going
assemble.
to possibly
Yeah.
make you cry.
I'm gonna cry just
more than
thinking
we
about
need
that
to.
scene. That's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
I don't know if "great's" the word I would.
I
use.
love that.
I like the one before that, part one, better.
Yeah,
Really?
that was a good.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he roots for the bad guy. He's more on the bad guy side. He likes to see like the real thing happen.
The snap.
That was good.
Yeah.
People.
I might go back and start the Avengers all over again. It's good. None of the side characters.
It may not make as much sense when you're watching it, like if you do them back to back to back. I feel like.
No, I think there is. I think we're so sidebarred. I think they did release a suggestion for what sequence you should watch them in for it to make the most sense. I think there is a release on that.
Nice.
Yeah, and the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it just got me thinking about, not just setting goals, but achieving those goals and what's next. And so with that Houston half and Houston full going on, we know our people are going to do well. We've got several people running it. I'm expecting great things from everybody, but more than that, to me, it's not necessarily just about the PRs. As a coach, I'm
PRs are great.
always a little nervous because it's all about execution, right? I believe 99% of the people have done the preparation and stuck with it and stuff. But sometimes, you just, the execution may not always happen. I may not stick to the race plan.
Maybe you go out hot. Maybe you don't take your nutrition.
Weather not be amazing.
Yeah.
Whatever. You might get sick, something like that. So there's some, definitely uncontrollables. But as a coach, like your success and for just being honest, like your athlete retention has a lot to do with performance.
Sure.
So how well your athlete does has a lot to do whether they're going to keep coming back and letting you be their coach, right? And so if you're getting them results, usually they're coming back, and they're like, man, will you keep coaching me? But if you're not getting them results, they're like, psh. Even if it's their fault, not yours, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if they're not listening or doing whatever. But if you're not getting them the results, they're gone. So it's always a little nerve-wracking sometimes when they do the races. But to me, it's less about the PR, and it's more about everything you did to get up to the PR. All the work you put in, the journey, right? It's all about that journey more than anything else. And what did you learn? And what I find oftentimes with a lot of my athletes is our motto is change your mind, change your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I do see these shifts in people's mindset from the beginning to where they get to the race. I'm thinking of a young lady right now, and she'd been coming to some of my classes for a good amount of time, and she would come up and ask me questions about running and tips and stuff, and I would tell her to slow down, and she's like, oh, it's so hard to slow down. I was like, but if you do it, you'll get faster. And so she ran whatever race she ran, and then finally she was like, hey, would you be willing to coach me? And I was like, of course. And so she said what her ultimate goal was. I think it was like to run a sub 2 hour half. And she's like, but I don't think I would be ready for that anytime soon. So if I could just get around 2:05, that would be just amazing. And I was like, we can get there. We just got to progress properly, And so the first 3 months, as usual, was all about convincing her to slow down. And then it wasn't that slow and everything. And then finally, once we made that transition, she was improving and we're building volume. And then we had to do speed work. And as usual, I was like, you want me to go how fast? This is too fast. I can't go this fast. This hurts so bad. But we went through that progression. And then race day, when we got race week, we were having the race plan and we were setting that race plan. And they were like, I was telling them, well, I really feel like you could run like a 158 or something. And they were like, no, I could never do that. And I was like, you could, but I want to be conservative. We want to do this. So let's shoot for a 159.59. I don't think I'm ready for that. Yes, you are. You can do that. But it's going to be uncomfortable, with the whole progressions and stuff, the whole thing. And so they were content with running like a 2:05 because it would have been a PR.
Yep.
They would have been happy with it. So I convinced them somehow. I don't even know. I was like, you can do this. And so they went out and did it. And they ran a 159, like 48 or something like that. And once they finished, and they were like, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, this, da-da-da-da-da. But I saw like this confidence being built in them. And then, I had just dropped a little bug in their ear. I was like, now you could I bet you if we trained for a year, I bet you we could go run a marathon at the same pace you just ran that half marathon out. And they're like, I'm never running a marathon. Oh, that's just too hard, da-da-da-da. Then a few months later, they're like, I think I'm going to run the Houston Marathon. And so they're going to run their first marathon this weekend, And so, but that mind shift of what I feel like I'm capable of doing, what things are completely out of my reach, this confidence is built. And so I think that to me is the biggest win is when you set these goals or you set whatever your resolution or whatever you want to call it is seeing like the actual positive change that happens for their life and the habits they build rather than this number that they want to hit.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't. It takes
time.
Takes time.
And work.
Work.
Put in.
Developing habits.
I think that's the key right there. Just doing a lot of the things just little things
Yeah.
over and over. Just sometimes, I was kind of talking to someone about running, and I was like, just start off easy. 20-minute run 3 times a week. Just do that for a month and just see what happens.
Yeah.
You don't have to go, all out, try to get 30 miles your first week. Just nice and easy. You've done no running. Let's just slowly build up. And just that little change, that habit of forming. And I think it was Will I was talking to too. And now he was just kind of laughing. I put a run in his plan. It was just like 2 miles. He was like, that's nothing now.
Yeah.
He was like, I laugh now. I was like, yeah, because you run like 6 times a week now. He's like, I don't even think about it now. And we were kind of talking to someone else. It just becomes a habit. It's like, today I'm going to brush my teeth, eat breakfast, run. Not even like am I going to run today? It's just a matter of fact.
Oh, I hope I have enough time to get my run in.
Yeah,
right.
You're getting it done. It just becomes a habit.
Right. No, I think, and that's really what. So every year at this time of year, people develop resolutions, right? And I think there was someone in class on Monday that was asking me, like, do you set resolutions? Do you have any resolutions? And the way she said it was very kind of cute, it was very cute the way she said it. And I was like, nah, I don't really make resolutions. I always set goals, though.
I think I know who to.
And I try to hit those goals. I was like, do you do resolutions? She's like, yeah, I do. I was like, but usually I do this, and then they don't happen. They don't do this. They don't do this. I was like, you're like 11. Like, what do you? How many years have you been setting?
I would say how many? Yes.
Like, it was cracking me up just listening to her talk. And
since the 4th grade, resolutions haven't been hit.
They just haven't been getting them. And then I give up, and then I was laughing inside. I was like kind of giggling and stuff. But that's whether you're 11 or you're 37. It's still the same thing. You set some kind of thing, but you don't really make a plan to
how to do it,
how to get there,
Yeah.
Or set up accountability. And so, I think that, what I told them was I always try to set myself 3 goals for the year. And so I keep it simple, right? Obviously, I have things I might want to do, plans that I might go through, whatever, but I always set 3 specific goals. And it's usually one for the year, one that's within 6 months, and then one that's maybe within a month to 3 months, So I have like these, and they all kind of line up usually with whatever that big one is for the year.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like one thing
benchmarks kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
And that's also what I encourage my athletes to do. If they have a big race, then we kind of like try to do build-ups to that event of some sort. And so that's what I was telling her was that, well, I try to like give myself these like almost countdowns to whatever the big event or the big goal was. And sometimes I hit them. Sometimes I far exceed them, and I get the goal way sooner than I thought.
Yep.
And so I have to reassess and, reestablish my goal. And so, I think that as we are moving into this year, the memes are out about the gyms being full.
Yep.
And, by
people are really motivated right now.
Yeah, by February, they're like, oh, well, it'll be okay because the gym will be empty again. And so, like, how do you develop the goals? How do you set the goals that you really want and desire? And then how do you set up the parameters to actually reach those goals consistently without it becoming one of those just another year where it fades into non-existence?
Having a plan.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
just like you said, having a plan. One of my athletes, she sent me a list. She already had, this was a month or 2 back. She already had her list of races she wanted to do for 2026.
Okay.
So it was almost like a back and forth in negotiation.
Of like how many of those races need to not happen?
Yes, exactly. I was like, okay, this looks good. I think one was overseas, and I was like, sounds good, but you're going to have a turnaround, time change. You probably should do a marathon right after that.
That would be tough, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. So a little back and forth. Okay, switch this to a half. And so it's thinking the year is laid out. Do we have enough training blocks for each race? A half marathon is definitely a lot less time than a full marathon. So it was just kind of having that plan forward, and then we finally kind of came to a few races of here and there. I was like, perfect. We can train for 3 months for this one, where you can, like you said, make progressions, make progress, and have enough time to adapt rather than just going race to race. And maybe you're improving, maybe you're just kind of at a standstill. Yeah. So that laying that groundwork of a plan is kind of, I would say, almost the first step.
Okay, that's good. So make a plan, right? What else?
I would say really assessing, once you figure out what your goals are, you need to assess what habits you have, what habits maybe you need to change that are going to help you get through that plan. They're going to help you execute. So you might have certain habits that you do that are not serving you. They're not serving you towards that greater goal.
That's good.
So you need to assess what your good and bad habits currently are that are going to get you closer. And once you do that, you can, again, further create parameters for how you're going to help.
So are you saying that if there's something that's holding you back, a habit or something like that, you got to let it go?
You need to.
So you're saying
work
you got to
on
let go of the
changing it.
past and move forward into the future. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
That is what you're saying?
I don't.
That'll preach right there, Lauren. I'm on board with you right there.
I'm not getting rid of my motorcycle. I like my motorcycle.
So I was telling you, I was inspired because I had seen my wife up here at the church actually doing some cleaning, and she had time off from school for a couple weeks. So knowing my wife, she can't just have time off. She needs to fill her time with
work.
Yeah, exactly. She's got to stay busy. A busy little bee. And so
I'm sure she loves that.
Little wee, she's just a sweet little weas.
Yes, she must love that.
She was up here cleaning, but it inspired me. And I was like, you know what? We got home, and my daughter's room was a mess. I mean, just like ridiculous.
Did you get the trash bag?
No. My wife was like, you need to clean up your room. And she was complaining about it. And so I went into my closet, and looked at my closet, and I was just disgusted. Because it's just like there's, running shoes, just like all in the middle. I can barely walk into my closet. I've got I had a stack of T-shirts sitting in a basket because I didn't have enough hangers to hang them up. And let's be honest, I'm just going to put the shirt back on. So I'm only wearing the shirts in the basket. I'm not even wearing the shirts that are hanging up because the ones in there hanging up are too small or they don't fit or whatever, right? Why am I holding on to these?
You got your rotation.
Yeah, I got my rotation. They're probably in the
solid
basket.
6.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. It's just.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm always talking about being a good example. I need to set a good example for my daughter. I've never been like a cluttery person. I've never been like someone who's not orderly. And I mean, when for the most part, I've always been like in my closet, I color code everything. Black shirts are together. I segregate. You better believe it. White
Oh, you
shirts
do
are
colors?
together. Red shirts are together.
Oh, I do sleeve length.
All the same hangers. You know what I'm saying? Jeans, blue jeans, black jeans, khakis, dress clothes over here, separate wardrobe for suits.
How large is your closet?
Man,
It's not that big.
You've got I'm into the color coded.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby's, she's really got me into that. But there's an invasion. It's like.
Oh, your space has gotten smaller?
Oh yes, that
happens.
It's. I mean, I have shirts. I have 2, but it's Russia invading.
I make a stand. There's a halfway point, and I will shove. I will make. Yeah, it's not happening.
I did that before, and it was it
didn't work.
No, it was what is this forceful?
Who do you
action?
think you are?
Yes, who do you think you are?
They called the UN on you.
Pretty much. You wanted sanctions against me, and
that's awesome. So anyway, I cleaned out my closet and brought some order and some chaos. And there were things I was pulling out, and I was like, "Do I really want to get rid of this?" It's like, this reminds me of this, or this is a memory from this. And I was like, let me put it on. And I put it on, and it was like a sausage. I was like, you remember, it's an old, some of y'all won't know the movie, but you remember Tommy Boy?
Oh my God.
That man in a little coat. And I was putting on T-shirts, and I was like, this could be a crop top for some people, And so I took off one T-shirt, and I gave it to my daughter for her to wear. And I was like, when was I wearing this shirt? When could I ever wear this shirt? So obviously it's either shrunk or I've just been blessed by a lot. Pulled out some pants, and I put those pants on, specifically dress pants. And I was like, who was wearing these britches? Because it wasn't me. And so
Peter Pan tights.
I pulled out 3 bags, trash bags of tennis shoes.
Wow.
And dress shoes, right? And just that's how many were in one, right? That's ridiculous. Now that's over a 20+ year time span. But I'm holding on to this jazz.
Yeah.
If I hadn't worn it in the last 3 years, I'm probably not going to wear it. Is that you think that's a good thing? A good call?
Yes.
Okay. So there's T-shirts in there that I used to love wearing. But if I don't wear them anymore because they don't fit, because every time I put them on, I'm a little uncomfortable, well, then I need to just get rid of it. Either that or put it in a frame on the wall and just so I can look at it and remember the good old days.
I love my motorcycle.
Like I said, it was, and I'm not usually a kind of liberating kind of person, But in the last week, I've been walking in my closet, and I've just felt better.
The internet's on my side. It won't make me get rid of my
I have
motorcycle.
felt so much better. There's all this empty space now. I'm able to find things. Like, I don't have to, like, search through the freaking laundry.
Did you have to, because, you know, human nature, as you were doing this, were you kind of hearing that little voice in the back of your head? You still might need that.
Yeah.
You still.
Yeah.
Did you see if it sparked joy?
No, what I did is I tried it on. And when it sparked that I couldn't put it on properly, that's the only lack of joy I needed.
When the Tommy Boy voice like crept in,
Yes.
it was like, nope.
I had a it was like this tool. It was to kind of dig into the hip flexors.
Yeah.
I bought it years ago. Hadn't touched it and used it. And a client of mine was kind of talking about she was looking for one. I was like, wait a second, I have one. And I was like, you can use it. And I was like, go to the garage. And I was like, she can have this. But then the voice in my head, you just might start using that.
Oh, there it is.
You might need that.
Little
And
devil.
yeah, the little devil. And I was like, and I sat down. I was like, you haven't touched that in over 2 years.
Exactly right.
I was just like,
Bro.
there you go. Take it.
And so here's the other thing that happened. Then I started, my eye gaze went over to my side table next to the bed.
Okay.
Right? The whole area next to my bed, next to the wall, there was other shoes lined up there, like tennis shoes, right? That I've been like, I'm going to sell these, or I'm going to need to do a video, or I'm going to make a display out of these. And I was like, those have been there for a year, and nothing has happened to them. Yoink. Then I made my way over to the corner where the side thing was, and somehow
How many shoes do you have?
there's all these books, right? There's all these like pictures my daughter has left for me to keep. You know, all these beautiful
artwork.
drawings. Yes, all her artwork. So I took them and I said, we are going to make a book, and we're going to put this in a book, and this is going to be your art book, your look book. And then this way we can keep it for years on end, but it's your responsibility. And then when you leave, then I'll look at it and remember it. It'll be a coffee table. We'll make a coffee table book out of it. But it ain't staying here next to my bed, so at least I can have a picture of your mother and my phone. And that's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I need right there for now, right? I can have the books underneath, right? The books that I've already read that I'm not going to read again more than likely, right? I'm not going to just be like, you know what? I think I'm going to pull that book back out again. I've learned what I need to learn from that book. I need new books to be learning from. Yes?
Agree.
So I clean that out, and now it's like I walk over to the next side of my bed, or my side of the bed, and I look down at my table, and I can see the table. And I can put my phone down without having to worry about it falling on the floor. It's amazing. It's so cool. Like, I have been sleeping so much better.
Weight lifted off you.
I do. I feel like this weight has been lifted off me, and I am free now. Like, the workout today, I was feeling so good. I was just, like, flying through this workout.
I wish I could say the same.
It's because you're still carrying baggage around.
No,
and you won't
not.
let go of it. I'm trying to relieve you. I'm trying to free you. Let me free you.
As
Give us free.
As soon as I get my oil change on this motorcycle, I'm gonna have to start
It
riding
was
that
like
thing out
you
there
were
every
pushing.
day.
You were pushing a sled plus a motorcycle
Ooh, well, she was pushing and pulling.
and pulling. Yeah, so
same
you
time.
had that. That's a lot of.
It was supposed to be a push-pull, not push and
Guys, I
pull.
look really cool on my motorcycle too.
Okay.
We haven't seen it in a year, but
We're going to drop this because this is
too
not
sidebar.
the
We've
subject.
sidebarred.
We've not sidebar. This is exactly what we're talking about, actually, isn't it?
yeah.
Not my
Okay.
motorcycle.
Anyway, give me a day.
Day.
Give me like month, year,
Just
weeks since the last time you rode your motorcycle.
I can tell you it's been a year.
Now, is this like a 2 weeks?
No, it's been an actual year because one of the tire. I remember it was a year ago. The tire had a leak in it, and it wasn't holding air at all. And I don't have a way to get it to a shop because I don't have a rack on the back of my
During
car.
this year, was there like a coronavirus going around? I'm just asking because years go by quick.
They can't.
We think it's a
And
year.
You think it's a year, and then all of a sudden it's like been 3.
No.
like that picture.
So you rode it, but then it got a flat, or you rode it because you had to go get the flat fixed?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to unlock your full potential? I want to introduce you to the Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast, a powerful resource to transform your life today. With expert interviews, practical tips, and inspiring stories, this podcast is your roadmap to lasting wellness. Here's what a listener has to say.
I used to struggle with my health, but this podcast changed everything. It's like having a personal trainer, nutritionist, and life coach totally for free.
With over 2,000 5-star reviews, we're a podcast you can trust. The Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
No, I wrote it, and then it developed a flat, like it got a leak or something. I don't know.
I gotcha.
It got something in it. Yeah.
And you were writing it regularly up to that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Like every...
I mean, I don't usually.
Anytime
take
you
for
stutter,
far.
I know that you're...
I would usually write it for like
searching.
just fun, for fun. I would take it out for a fun ride, or I do a little commute. Because I mean, I don't usually drive it up here too often because I don't love riding like home at night on it because people are stupid. So it's more of like I use for daytime.
It's funny when people go, yeah, usually means a couple of things.
My motorcycle.
No, I'm not just, I'm not
My
with
thing.
you. I used to have a coworker. I was like, all right, our turn's coming up. Yeah. As we drive right past it. I was like, you didn't understand that, did you? He's like, no. He just laughs. We're buddies, but
She's laughing because she knows what that's like, too.
yes.
Don't you? Don't you? Hey, Lauren, is the turn coming up pretty soon? Yeah.
That's
Lauren, did we pass it yet? No. Are you sure? Pretty sure that's it back there. Oh, wait. Yeah. We got to turn around.
That's it. So that's universal. Yeah.
Universal,
Is
bro.
You're
Works
buying
both ways.
time. You're in a panic. It's maybe I'm right. Yes, she's in tears right now. I know. I've been yeah before. So people, if anyone you're with goes yeah, question immediately.
Well, one of the things we talked about in our meeting on whatever day we had it. Tuesday. Thank you. Oh, my God. Stop, James.
Don't do it, Jane.
Stop, James.
The new James. You got that weight lifted off you. Come on. We don't need that.
Anyway.
Not Wednesday.
In our meeting on Tuesday, as we were talking, one of the things we were talking about was how, like, teamwork, like the importance of teamwork, and how, like, some of us have different strengths, some of us have different weaknesses. And if you're part of a really good team, then part of the accountability, which is one of those things I would think that goes along with planning and getting rid of bad habits and trying to develop new ones in place of those bad habits, right, is having that accountability of other people to help you in those weaknesses, right? So you're only as strong as, in a team, you're only strong as the weakest link, right? We've heard that phrase.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Pastor when we were gone last week, and one of the things he said that there's things you hear sometimes, and it really like speaks to you, And he said something that we were talking about, weak links and chains and teamwork and all this kind of stuff, and it was from a sermon he had preached, and he made a statement, and it was, and I feel like this was exactly the same. It was, you're only as good as your weakest commitment. Right. So in other words, we've always heard the term, the team's only as good as the weakest link,
player.
right? So the weakest player on the team, or the weak link, right? The law of the chain, which is the weak link, right? But he was saying, and what he said to me was, you're only as strong as your weakest commitment. So whatever the weakest commitment you have, so the thing that is like the hardest for you to commit, right? That's the limit of your strength. And so like when he said that, because commitment really speaks to me, right? Consistency really speaks to me, because it's been, like, in my life anyway, it's helped me so much, right? Learning that, I'm learning it more and more and more, that the law of consistency is, the more consistent you are, the more successful you'll be. And so, because we always talk about trusting the process, we always talk about like how it's not intensity, but rather it's consistency that pays off the most.
Yes.
And so if we are weak in commitment in one particular area, well, that can like almost sabotage some of the things that we're super strong in. And so, like, we're only as strong as our weakest commitment. And so if we're going to set new goals, if we're going to set new things in our life that we want to do, well, we have to examine what commitments am I weak in, or what have I done in the past that I made commitments to that I failed at, or I was super weak at, and I have to address those first, right? So I have to take a weakness and make it a strength.
Being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I think like, we go back to resolutions or New Year, and I'm just using the general one. It seems the most popular. I'm losing weight this year.
Always.
And 10 years in a row, you haven't done it.
Yes.
And so, look, what do we change? Do you do this year? I'm going to really dig down deep and get super committed, and you make the same mistakes. I think that's, going on. What Lauren said is, yes, you evaluate, and then you seek help. whether it's a coach, like you said, a community to kind of work
Accountability.
with, accountability to get accountable, and have someone to kind of to give you the guidance, answers of hey, to kind of keep you on the right track.
Yeah. Here's the struggle I find, though, oftentimes with, like, say, accountability is accountability to an extent, right? And we talk about this a lot in church because we talk about, like, discipleship.
Yeah.
And that's basically you're mentoring, you're leading somebody, right? Well, to lead somebody, that means they have to follow, right? So if you're accountable to somebody, that means to an extent you are handing over a portion of your will to them, right? You're giving over to them, like, you trust them
To guide you.
to guide you.
Yeah.
And so that means they have permission to an extent to hold you to the fire, right? If you're not doing something, they have permission from you to say, hey, you're not doing what you said you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Let's change that. What can we do? Hey, you're supposed to be doing this, but you're actually doing this. How do we change that? And so, the bad word submission, you submit a bit of your will to someone to be accountable to them. And, one of the things I love about, a lot of my athletes is that, they send me their workouts, they send me their runs, they send me 100% of the time. Do you hear that? 100%. 100% of the time, the athletes that send me every one of their runs are successful. Like, not once has someone that has consistently sent me their runs and their workouts every single week are they not successful. Part of that I feel like is because they stay engaged, but what they're doing is they're using me as their accountability, and it's like, I got to send coach my numbers today, and I know the numbers are supposed to be this, so I'm sending it to them, and I want to make sure I'm passing the quiz or the test or something like that. But without a doubt, the people who are inconsistent at sending me the numbers or don't send them to me at all, without a doubt, like 99.9% of the time, they either fall off or it takes them longer to be successful. So that tells me a lot about the power of accountability. It tells me a lot about the power of being able to use other people to help motivate you and lead you and guide you, and why leadership or coaching or a community is so important is because it brings this level of accountability that you'll never have on your own.
Yeah, 100%.
I was just thinking about the submission and thinking about how you said, like, you're having to, like, give over. It's a trust process as well. Like, you're asking somebody to trust you, and then in turn the other person has to trust that, I guess, you're not going to get upset when I call you out, or not call you out, but when I hold you to the standard.
Yeah, when you hold them accountable.
When you hold them accountable, hold them to the standard you have asked them to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I've seen, I'm sure you've seen it too, people think they want the coaching, but they don't want to be held accountable.
It seems like sometimes,
sometimes they how to put this?
It's almost like what they really want is a motivational speaker. I feel like sometimes.
Well, they want the PRs, but they don't want to, like, say, the accountability of doing the little things, doing what they've asked you to do. Kind of. I recently had an athlete that up and down a little bit, and and it's not. It takes everyone a little bit. Some people might get it like that. You have an athlete, they jump right in, they're 100%.
It just clicks immediately.
Just clicks. They're like, whatever, this is what I'm paying you to do. I'm doing the runs. And others, they almost want to fight it a little bit. They don't trust the process. And this person was just kind of like, you know what? I know you're going to say told you so, but I'm going to quit doing all this random stuff. And I was just like, I'm not going to tell you, so I'm happy.
Yeah, that's exactly
just
right.
Everyone goes at their own speed.
Yeah,
or
how long
learns
differently.
Yes, at their own pace kind of deal. So I was like, no, that's awesome. That's amazing. I kind of chuckled. I was like, I think I've heard that before, but yeah, that's a great idea. But that's what I mean. So it's, we as coaches, it's kind of like trying to be patient, trying to, different ways to motivate. Some people, you got to say, a little bit more loving touch, others a little bit harder. It's just, finding out that individual.
It's finding the one that, like, you resonate with and that you respond with, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think there's also something to, like you just said, people, I don't think when they ask for accountability or when they seek out, like, assistance, help from, like, a coach, or in this case, I don't think a lot of people really are prepared for the discipline and the little work that adds up, that really goes into hitting the goals they want. So they want to, like, kind of still have their own freedom to do things the way they've been doing them. Because like kind of what we were talking about in the Patreon, there's a level of comfort, and people don't like their comfort to be shaken. And so if you're used to doing things a certain way, used to thinking a certain way, or responding to things with certain habits, and you have someone come in who's going to hold you accountable to reach a goal, well, that person's going to rattle that comfort zone a little bit, because they're going to try to convince you that you need to change some habits and change your mindset, can change the way you're doing things. So I think it's really getting people to understand that you have to really be committed to that level of work. And that, I think those little things is the level that people don't really take into consideration, because life gets busy, life gets hard, juggling family, kids, work, the whole 9 yards. And it's really easy to like say, oh, well, I didn't get to my run today. Don't worry, I'm just going to tack it on when I get a chance, or I'll tack it on later, or I'm just going to do it all at once. Or
not do it at all.
Not do it at all. And then, they want to know why they're not getting where they need to get, and it's because ultimately hitting the goals that most people want to hit takes extreme discipline. And I think that's with any change.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think anybody is capable of running a sub 4-hour marathon, sub 2-hour half marathon. Actually, I honestly believe that there's more people than not that are capable of running closer to a 3-hour marathon. But the amount of work and effort it's going to take to achieve those types of times or paces and stuff like that is usually far beyond what people are willing to do. You have to really want it. You have to really desire it, because it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take some time, quite a bit of time, right? Not as long as you think, but it's still going to take time. And it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. And I think that's the biggest trouble for people, is the sacrifice, like letting go of things that are not important in exchange. And so you mentioned like the habits thing, right? The only way to get rid of old habits is to replace them with new ones.
New systems, yeah.
Right? So the same thing applies, is that, we've had this conversation. I think we had it with, because actually, so I was a guest on, maybe it was like Tit for Tat. Pastor was on a guest on my podcast, so I was a guest on his podcast this week, right? So I was like, yeah, that's right. I didn't do that, kid. But Rocky was on there too. Okay. And so we were talking, and we started talking. Somehow the word balance came up. And this conversation that the three of us had last year just just popped into my head. Do you remember that? Where we were talking about I said there's no such thing as balance.
Yes. Oh yeah, you've said that often.
And I was talking about how
that was a big thing.
It's really about priorities, right? And everybody's always talking about, I've just got to have balance, and I've got to have balance. And so I asked Pastor, and I was like, all right, now this might be controversial. I don't know. But he and I had this conversation and on our podcast last year, and I was talking about I don't believe that balance actually exists, that you're going to give your time to the things that matter most to you, right? Now, what you say and what actually matters the most to you are not always the same thing, because your time will tell you what is the most important to you. So don't tell me your family's the most important to you when you spend 80 hours a week at work avoiding your family. Now, you may not be avoiding your family, but you're also sacrificing time with your family for your job. Okay. Now, you may be quote unquote working the job to take care of your family, and that's how you're loving your family. But ultimately, you still have to make time for your family. And the only way you can do that is you got to give something else up, because there's a finite amount of time in a day, right? I don't care what these influencers say, and they have 60-hour days, right? And they got a 6-hour work week in one day, or whatever bull they're saying. But there's only 24 hours in the Gregorian calendar of a day, okay? So you have to give up some things. And actually, as we were talking it out, he made something, and I think we've all probably heard this, right? But he talked about there's good things and there's great things.
Okay.
Right? There's things that aren't bad, and then there's the excellence, right? And to be great, a lot of times you have to give up the stuff that's good.
Okay.
So you have to sacrifice the good for the great. And so there may be some things that there's nothing wrong with them. They're good things. They're great. They're they may bring a certain level of happiness, but you cannot give your attention and your focus into those if you're going to be great in this other thing. So it's like that adage, right? You're a jack of all trades, but you're a master of none. So if you don't focus on one particular thing or a couple of different things, you can never truly master that thing, because you are not giving the attention. You don't have the attention or the time to master that thing. because you're so spread so thin over all these other things trying to balance your life. There is no billionaire, millionaire, elite athlete, world record holder in the world that has balance in their life.
Just saw a documentary on Netflix. It was great about John Elway.
Yep.
It was amazing. It was just kind of, and he said exactly that thing. He's like, to be great, I had to sacrifice a lot with my family. He was like, he wasn't proud of it, but that was just the facts of it. And you know, it was just, now he had retired. He's all family now because that's what he does. But he said to get that level that he wanted to bring championships to Denver, it took him being all in. That's where his time was for for football.
So I'm not telling you to sacrifice your family to run 90 miles a week. Understand that. But what I am saying is there are plenty of things in our lives that we have that are not bad things that cost us greatness in other areas. Watching TV, being on social media. There's so many things that waste a lot of our time where we could be going and doing this or doing something else or giving time to our family. So being very intentional in how we spend our time and understanding that today, right now, this is the youngest I will ever be again. I'll never be any younger than I am today. Moving in the future, I'm just getting older. Time is still coming. And as those days move on, I want to make sure that I'm taking advantage of all the time that I have with that, right? Whether it's the people I spend my time with, whether it's, my business or whether it's church or whether it's, what my fitness, whatever it may be, I want to make sure that I'm doing the most with the time that I have. And so that I'm not wasting anything that could sacrifice the goal, And so, you guys know who Prefontaine was?
The runner.
Yeah, the runner, right?
Yeah.
And he had a saying, and it was to, not give your best is to sacrifice the gift, right? Or not do your best is to sacrifice the gift. Yeah. Well, for me, I hear that, and I think to myself that, with as much time as I've invested in up to this point in being a runner, as much time as I've invested in being a high rocks athlete, as much time as I've invested in owning a gym, in people, this is my, the way Pastor said it when we were talking, like he was talking about the church and everything. This is my legacy that I'm building, right? This is how people are going to remember me. Maybe 100 years from now, well, I say maybe 100 years from now, nobody's going to know who the heck I was. You know what I'm saying? Like my great grandchildren aren't going to know that I coached people or that I ran.
Great grandpappy James.
Yeah, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, he was a high rocks athlete and went to the world championships. They're not gonna care about any of that stuff. But the people that I have contact with today,
Your influence,
right? The influence, the circle of influence that I have on those people. How am I helping them? How am I connecting with them, communicating with them, so that it affects their life? And then maybe they don't remember me, but that same message or that same habit or that same mind shift is something they pass along to somebody else. And so it's not necessarily my name as much as like what it is that I've imparted into those people.
Influence you've kind of
and that
spread out,
kind of spread and grow, right? I don't need to have credit for everything. It's so funny. We were running the other day, and as we were running, I saw a group of people that I don't know who the heck they are. And they were doing a very familiar warm-up. It was all running marching drills and butt kicks and A-skips. They did a little head rotations and hip rotations. Yeah. All in the right order, too. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't remember getting any type of residual income off of that. I don't remember getting a shout-out, # Coach James's warm-up. No. I don't care because those people are doing something that most runners don't do.
Yep.
And so that, to me, really encourages me because, okay, maybe they don't I'm running past them and they don't even know that's my warm-up.
Yep.
But I coached somebody or talked to somebody or showed somebody something. They showed somebody, and now these people are doing it. That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal. And so that kind of stuff right there, those are the things that I feel are important, that are great. Well, I have to sacrifice other things to be able to impart that. It's time, it's effort, it's whatever. And so, for me, I feel like the message I want to try to really hammer home to people this year is, instead of just saying, you know what, I think what you're talking about is very important. Yes, we have to have a plan. If you got to know how to get where you're going if you're going to get there. You need a map. Yes?
Yes.
You cannot take the old, hard, ridiculous habits with you, like Lauren is saying. You have to replace those with something that's going to be effectual.
Yes.
You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting some sort of different result. It's the definition of insanity.
It is.
Hallelujah, a miracle happened.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it just spontaneous combusted. It happened for me, right? But I feel like for me anyway, I feel like understanding that if I want greatness, and I would think if you want to run a sub 2 hour marathon, to me that's greatness. If you're running a 3 hour marathon and if you run a 3 hour half marathon and you end up running a 2 hour, that's, in my opinion, you've accomplished greatness, because that means you've exceeded above and beyond and you've improved so much. And that's really what we talk about, progression over perfection, right? That's greatness, in my opinion. You know, if you went from never working out, never being athletic or doing anything like that, and all of a sudden now you're running 5Ks and 10Ks and doing high rocks, to me, that's greatness. To do that, you're going to have to give up the good for the great. And so I told somebody one time, and I really don't like talking about things that like maybe I've done for people, because like the Bible talks about how if you kind of tell all the amazing things you've done, you get your kudos here, right? You get like everybody's, oh, you're so awesome. So you get your reward here rather than in heaven.
So you shouldn't be like, I'm going to do Lauren a favor, but I'm doing the favor just so I can like talk about it, kind of deal.
So that people can think you're good, right?
Gotcha.
So you're not braggadocious about the good things you do, right? But I do think sometimes you have to tell people of things that you've done or give a testimony or story to encourage other people.
Sure.
You know? And so I hesitate to tell this story, but like, I've never told this story to anybody before, but when I was younger, right? Like 21 or so years old, I was having a really rough time in my life, and like I was destitute, like homeless, literally homeless. Like I was living like from couch to couch in my truck for like almost a month, right? Like no income, no money, nothing, right? No family. My parents, my family, my mother had kicked me out, right? Because I had nothing to offer, completely rejected me. So I was alone, dejected, all this other stuff, right? And so like here at this church, I had a friend that I used to work out with, and he reached out to me, and I don't even know how, because I don't think I had a cell phone or anything, because I couldn't afford one. So I don't even know how I can't even remember now. It's so long ago. But,
beeper?
Huh? Maybe it was a beeper. Yeah, maybe it was a two-way, right? So, but he somehow brought me to church, and I came to church, and I was sitting down in the back, and I did not want to be here at all. And the service went on, and there was a moment where they were singing this song, and it was a song about like it says, when I think about the Lord and what He's done for me, how He saved me, how He raised me, and I can't even tell you, like I can't explain it, but I was transported from my seat in the back to the front. Like I just got up and walked to the front, and I just like fell on my knees, and I was like crying and doing all this other stuff. I was praying, and I was like, what do I do, God? Like, how do I get out of this? What's going on? And I just kind of surrendered myself at that moment. And when I did, when I got up, I was still homeless. I was still like no job, no whatever. But somebody came up to me, and they were like, they started talking to me like, hey, let me take you to lunch. And so they took me to lunch, and we were talking, and they were asking me everything that happened, everything was going on. And like when we got through, they paid for my lunch, right? I don't even know how I don't know why I ate lunch, because I had no money to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? But they paid for my lunch, and then I got a call. Not a call, but they took me to pastor's house or whatever. I guess they had called him and talked to him, and he was like, "Hey man, why don't you stay here? We've got an extra room, whatever. You can hang out with us." And so he kind of took me in, right? And over the course of like 6 months or so, they helped me get a job. They helped me get an apartment. He gave me his car to just drive around, right? And he helped me eventually get a vehicle or what have you. He co-signed for it for me. Did all these amazing things that people just don't do for other people.
Yeah.
Right? It's just not something that people do, right? Well, that stuck with me, big time. And so, fast forward several years later, I'm doing obviously much better. I'm married. I got a family. We're doing whatever. And I had this Jeep. I had this white Jeep. I called it the Duke. It was a Jeep Commander. I would love that vehicle so much, because it was one of the first cars I actually purchased with my own money, coming out of all that, right? And it was nice, and it had leather, and like it was cool, right? And I got like rims on it. It was the first car I ever had rims on. I got like big like tires on it. I got like a sticker on the side that said the Duke. I was just like, I love that car so much. And so there was a guy that came into our church, and when he came in, he was in a very similar position I was in. Like when I first got here, right?
Yeah.
Homeless, no job, like just destitute, right? The only difference was he had a family. He had a wife and he had a little girl. And he came in, I saw him and whatever, something in me said, you need to give him your car. My car was paid off, right? I was just driving it footloose and fancy free, right? Just put new tires on it. And so there was a voice telling me you should give him your car. And I'm like, who gives away a freaking car? That's stupid.
Oprah.
Yeah, exactly. She just gives cars away like nothing, right? And so it was really crazy because that night I got home and pastor calls me. And he's like, hey, I was wondering if you would be willing to sell me your car. And I was like, why do you want to buy my car? He's like, well, I was thinking about we were going to like the church would try to put something together and we would get him some transportation so he could get a job. He could do all this other stuff. And I was like, you can have it. And he's like, what? I was like, you can have the car. It's okay. He's like, no, I'm saying we're going to buy it from you. I don't even know why I said that. Like, I could have made money. I should have made some money. I could have given him a discount, you know? And I was like, no, you can have it. And so I gave him the keys, and I told him, if there's anything wrong, if anything happens, just let me know. We'll get it fixed. I don't want this to be a burden. I want it to be a blessing, what have you. And so, like, for me, that was, at first it was, like, really weird. Like, why would you do this for somebody? But it immediately took me back to, like, when people helped me, right? When, like, I had no way to help myself, right? And so, but the cool thing is that once I gave him the vehicle, whatever, well, now I didn't have a vehicle, right? So I had to go buy a new vehicle. Well, I'd always wanted a Jeep. I'd always wanted like one of the 4-door Jeeps. They never made those. I'd sell custom ones, and, you know, they had just come out with them. And I was like, well, they're a little out of my price range. I can't afford that kind of Jeep. And, like, somebody reached out to me, and, like, they were like, hey, we know someone's selling a Jeep. I heard you wanted one or whatever. And I got this like ridiculous deal on this. I'm like, it was like half price off of the vehicle. It was all pimped out. It already had the wheels. It already had the rims. It had the jacked up. It had a winch. Like, it was everything that I would have wanted in this Jeep at the time, right? And for, like, when I say a fraction of the price, like, I'm talking a fraction of the price. And then my boss sold his company, and the company that came in, they changed the way our pay structure was, and so they gave us a car allowance. So we'd never had a car allowance before, right? So we got our regular salary plus commission plus a car allowance, right?
Nice.
So the car allowance was more than what the car cost me every month. So it was like, I just got another bump, right? And so I look back at that and I realized that what happened is that I made room for something new. And because if I had just held on to whatever it is I had, I would have never taken the opportunity. I would have said, oh, I've got a car. I don't need to get a new one. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I am, right?
Yeah.
I would have never taken that opportunity. I would have never done that. And so it was like, I believe God was setting me up to be blessed. But, like, when I hear you say that about giving up bad habits or old things, right? I think immediately I'm making room and I'm taking good away so that I can make room for great. And greatness is scary because of where it may take you, right? What it may require of you. But I believe that every single one of us have greatness inside of us that's just ready to be birthed out. And if we will be brave enough to let go of the unnecessary, the good, so that we can make room for the great, I feel like we can go to levels that we never thought were possible. So working out is good. Exercise is good. But working out the right way is great, right? Going and running is good, but running slow 80% of the time is great. Doing hard workouts is good, but being deliberate in the workouts that you do when you make them hard is what makes you great. And so if we can be very deliberate this year, and that's my challenge to every one of us, including myself, is to make room for the great and understand that it doesn't always have to be focused on just the good. And understand that if it's bad, we got to get it completely as far away from us as possible. And if we can start working on that and developing and holding ourselves to a higher standard, that's what my goal is. I'm going to start trying to hold and it's not like, I'm not like, not holding myself to a high standard, but I want to raise the bar of excellence.
You want to what?
In my life, raise the bar of excellence.
Level up.
And I want to
level up.
I want to level up. All right. I was going to set you up.
I know I was setting you up though. I was giving
But
you an opportunity.
I'm not saying it.
I'm trying to give you an opportunity. I'm trying to make
You're
catch
saying
on.
it. I'm not going to say it. You're not breaking me. This is not going to be a rock dog situation, just so you know.
Oh, no.
Okay? It's not going to be a rock dog situation.
Not getting broken.
I will not be broken. So, all right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I apologize for that extra stuff. That was not in the notes. So, but
Preach.
Word.
Good stuff.
So, guys, go ahead, Lauren.
I was going to say, I do have a great book recommendation for people that is about habits.
Oh.
I actually recommend getting it and rereading it as often as you can. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Read it, loved it, going to start reading it again. I think I might make it a once-a-year read. It's a very good book, and it's got a lot of very good insight about changing your habits, creating new ones, and the systems that you put in play.
Okay.
I highly recommend.
Carlos, you got anything to add?
No, I think what you said was great. I'm excited. For the, as the leader here, you leveling up. We're gonna go right there with you.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about.
Level up
and upward. Onward and upward, or
we're leveling up.
Level up. Level up. All right, guys. I'm done ranting. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I got a lot of stuff on my mind. I got a lot of stuff in my spirit right now. So this is always a great release for me. I enjoy these times we get together and talk. And if anything, whether you guys get something out of it or not, I get something out of this every single week. So thank you for coming. Thank the two of you for coming. I appreciate both of you. I'm excited for all the amazing things, the great things that are going to happen this year. Woo.
Capital G. Great.
Capital G. It's going to be a good time. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. If you're already a Patreon member, we have a new Patreon member. I want to give a shout out to Courtney. Courtney is a Patreon member. So she's done some great things this year herself. And she was actually our member of the year at BC Fitness.
I was the last one.
You were the last one. And you handed your crown over to her?
I did, even though I anointed myself Athlete of the Year, and you said that's new
and you can't have it.
Okay.
Because Larry has that one.
Yeah. That's well-deserved.
Yeah,
well-deserved.
Larry definitely deserved that. So, but as we go through this next year, guys, we're going to be talking about racing. Obviously, we're going to be talking about all of the things that we've been successful in, but we want to know as well, what are you guys conquering? What are you guys doing? If we're affecting you in any way, please, we want to know. You can email me at james@mybcfit.com. You can reach out to us through our Instagram at Running with James. DM us, send comments, whatever it is. If you have questions that you would love for us to address, if there's a topic that you want us to talk about this year, send it to us. Let us know.
In the DMs.
We definitely, for sure, will do that for you because we want to know what you guys are curious about, what you want to learn. So, as always, make sure you're following us on Instagram and on YouTube at Running with James. You can also follow Lauren at The Backyard Bohemian. You can follow Carlos at Los 200, and of course, if you want to follow me, BC Coach James, that's all good. And if you want to be a Patreon member, if you'd like to get a little bit of extra content and some sweet, cool stuff sometimes, you can just check out patreon.com/runningwithjames, and we have different levels to become a member. But no matter what you do, make sure that every day you get up and that you're willing to change your mind.
To change your life.
Change
Really,
your life.
guys?
Wow. Sorry.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
Hey, guys, it's a new year. Same responses. I told you about the greatness. I told you about the greatness.
I had a stroke.
Yeah.
What
apparently.
happened?
But thank you, Carlos.
I just was
Thank you,
staring.
Carlos. I know who's ready. High five.
High five right there.
I was so confused.
Got him. All right, guys, have a great week. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Change your mind, change your life.